Welcome to Fully In It, a show for visionaries, leaders, entrepreneurs, and those who know they are called to so much more. Join me, Kate Saffel, a mindset expert, multiple six-figure business coach, and a woman on a quest to show that anything you desire to create in your life is truly possible. This show is about going fully in it for you and the people you love by showing up powerfully in all areas of your life. Join me for regular inspiration and encouragement to follow your intuition, lead with integrity and heart, and live boldly every damn day. Hey, welcome to episode 93 of the Fully In It podcast. Hey, welcome back. I am so damn glad that you are here with me today. And today's topic is all about leading yourself powerfully, no matter what is happening in the world, whether the times feel incredible and amazing and supportive to everything you're doing, or you look around yourself and you think, damn, like these are some uncertain times that we are living in. And my desire with this episode is to really equip you with the tools that I have used to lead myself through really everything that has happened in the last several of years since the pandemic in 2020, and really a lot of the uncertainty that I think we all have gone through as a collective. These tools have been so supportive to me and to my clients. And the reason why I really felt passionate about digging into this topic is because, in 2020, when we were at the very beginning of the pandemic, and we really had no idea what was happening. It was pretty damn scary, right? There was so much uncertainty and not knowing what's going to happen next. Are we going to have everything we need? Are we going to be safe? Are we going to be able to stay healthy? And at that time, my business was just at the beginning of a really massive upward trajectory, and I wasn't aware of it at the time. But I do believe that the decisions that I made and the way that I carried myself in 2020 were the difference between my business really rapidly growing and other businesses that I saw during this time tank or just stay stagnant. And a lot of this has to do with the way that you are carrying yourself, the way that you are thinking about the world, you're thinking about your possibilities, and the actions you take from that place. When I was in that place, right, and I was witnessing everything happening in the world, and there was a part of me that was like, oh my God, I just want to run. I'm scared. Am I going to be able to keep my family safe? I just don't know what to do. And then there was another part of me that kind of whispered, this is the perfect opportunity for growth. I don't know why. It was just what I felt in my gut. And I felt especially called to be a leader and show during that time that it could feel like the world was going to hell in a handbag and you could still create a life you love. I know, crazy, right? Crazy to imagine the world's in a pandemic and I have the audacity to go around and say, hey, you could really love your life right now. I know, it sounds crazy. But the thing is that I experienced that in my own life, right? August 2020, we moved into our fifth wheel, and September 2020, we were traveling full time, and my husband quit his job. We experienced a completely different reality than a lot of people did. And yes, we did everything safely, and yes, we followed all the protocols. And also there were times that it felt like what was happening in the world, the pandemic, all of that didn't really exist because I was so tuned into the reality that I was creating in the life that I wanted to lead that it simply wasn't on my awareness. And so my business was able to grow because I felt safe, I felt secure, I felt aligned with my vision, and all of those things are ingredients for you to grow and to lead yourself no matter what's happening in the world. We always have the opportunity to respond, or really, if we're being honest, to react to what's happening in the world and to take actions from an unaligned place, a place of fear and doubt, scarcity, lack. And that's what I saw a lot of people do during 2020 was they began to change their offers in their businesses. They began lowering their prices. They pulled back from posting as much. They changed their messaging to try to match what they think people wanted. And spoiler alert, like this is something I learned during this time is that yes, people they want to feel empathized with, they want to be understood, they want to be supported. And yet, the kind of people that I'm guessing you're leading, they want to keep growing. They don't want to just succumb to what's happening around them, and they need a message of hope and possibility to pull them forward. If we sell to, speak to, market to fear and everything that's going wrong, we are inviting our people into a narrative that says that that is what they're going to experience, and here we have to come and rescue them. And that is just simply not the case. So I saw that I was showing up as a bit of an outlier, at least compared to other people in the coaching industry. And there were other coaches who I also saw taking a similar path to me and consequently growing as well. So I wanted to really break this down into tangible steps for you, as some people are feeling that the world's going through another big shift, right? There's talk of a recession. We're experiencing inflation. And these are things that could really have you running scared if you allow them to scare you, if you allow them to influence you. The thing we want to do is always being focused on what it is that we are creating in the future versus focusing on our energy on the things that we are most afraid of. And this doesn't mean that you need to avoid the things that you're afraid of, or that we need to pretend like there aren't bad things happening in the world. But if you're giving a lot of your energy to this, it essentially drains you of your power. It disempowers you and keeps you from showing up in the world in a way that your people actually need. They need you to be a leader right now. They need you to hold that hope and that possibility for them. And when I talk about leadership, this is not just for you that have online platforms and businesses. This is also for you that are mothers and fathers and caregivers and teachers and writers and speakers. We all get to lead. No matter who you are, where you are, or what you do, we all have an opportunity to lead in some capacity. So let's go ahead and dig into these steps and what you can do to fully lead yourself no matter what is happening in the world. So the biggest piece of advice I can give you always, and I have seen this support me in my own life over and over, and that is to be very clear on your why. Why are you willing to wake up every day and show up for your people? What pulls you forward and motivates you and drives you to create the future that you desire? Your why should be deep. It should emotionally move you. You should feel a shift in your body when you think about what it would be like. So for example, right now, my deep why, I have two actually. I have a family one and I have a community one for a bigger impact in the world. My family why right now is that we've done the travel life for 2 years and now we're very ready to put down roots. And our desire is to buy a house, and not just buy any house, but our dream home, the one that we can stay in long term and our kids can have friends over and we can have gatherings in it. My husband and I love to entertain, and we just have this place where we make memories together as a family. And it's just part of this next season of life that we're so excited about. Now, the housing market has been just crazy town the last year. And we're in Florida, and we happen to be in like the hottest market in the United States right now. Yes, we have wonderful taste, and we just, apparently ended up in the place a lot of people wanted to be, and it's okay because we love living by the ocean. We're so grateful to be here. And with that said, last year when we got here, last September 2021, the house prices were really starting to go up, and we were witnessing people getting into bidding wars. And I said to Kirk, you know what? This reminds me so much of 2006 and 2007. And if you are of a certain age, you know what I am talking about, because in 2008, the housing market completely crashed, and a lot of people lost so much equity in their homes because the value dropped. It wasn't sustainable. And so I'm very big on listening to one's intuition, and maybe I'll do a podcast on this at some point. And my intuition was saying, don't buy right now. I saw a lot of people in total FOMO. They're buying houses $50,000 and $70,000 above asking. And I'm like, something about this doesn't feel right. And it's probably always been the rebel in me, but if I see a lot of people just kind of blindly following each other and all doing the same thing, I will question it, and I will most likely not do it, because evidence shows us that when a large group of people all do the same thing, they're copying each other, they're trusting head knowledge over intuitive knowledge, and consequently, sometimes they make decisions that are actually very unaligned. So in witnessing all of these behaviors happening out in real time in the housing market here, we decided to wait. And now we're seeing, wow, like prices are starting to drop. I've been doing a lot of research and just seeing how we're definitely getting ready to go into another housing price dip. Obviously, interest rates are going up, but it's not quite yet the time for us to buy because, again, trusting that intuition, I know that our right home is coming at the exact perfect price for us that we want to pay. This is a big part of my why. This is a big part of why I show up, is because I desire to create this for my family. And this is going to be the first home that is possible because of my business. And how freaking cool is that, right? So that's my personal why, is what I get to create for my family. And, can you relate to that? Do you have a why that is motivated by the people you love and serving them and caring for them and showing up for them? I also have a bigger why that has to do with my community, with you, with everyone here that is listening to this, that works with me, that is just coming across my community online. And it's that I want to serve you and equip you to show up as the most confident, badass version of you in your life and your business. Because the thing is that I want you to have the life that you love. I want you to feel like you have everything you need to powerfully show up for your people. And that motivates me every day to get up and do the work. So that first step is knowing your why. So it doesn't matter what's happening in the world. It doesn't matter if times are scary or they're super stable. Can you show up for your why? Can you keep going? Can you let that be the thing that pulls you forward? The second one is that when there's a lot of shifts happening in the world, it can be really tempting to fall into bad habits like scrolling on social media, excessively watching the news, and maybe eating poorly, like shifting your eating habits. You're not working out as much. You're not getting good sleep because you're staying up scrolling on your phone, or like binge watching YouTube videos or whatever, right? And so the second step is to stick to your intentional habits. Again, we are leaders, and as a leader, there is a certain caliber of habit that I bet you uphold, right? You have certain routines and rituals and things that you do on a daily basis. Now is the time to buckle down, to really focus on those habits and make sure that you're showing up every day for them, because these are the things that support you in being the best version of you. And when we allow our good habits to go out the window, it can affect your mindset. You can start to think unsupportive thoughts that maybe have you making unaligned decisions because you're feeling more fear, you're feeling more scarcity, you're feeling bad in your body, and it becomes cumulative. It becomes that downward spiral effect that I'm sure you've experienced before. I know that I have. Your habits are the foundation for you to powerfully lead no matter what is happening in the world. The third one, this is a big one. Don't make any rash decisions. You want to really pay attention when you have the opportunity to make a decision to do an internal check-in and see, is this decision being made out of fear or possibility? Am I running toward my why and my big juicy goals? Or am I really, really scared of something and I'm trying to protect myself and in reality, I'm really self-sabotaging? Right? You got to get clear. And sometimes your brain will lie to you and tell you, oh, this is the right thing to do. And in reality, it is such a fear-based decision. Only you can know. But I will tell you that if you're making decisions that take you away from your goals and you're telling yourself, oh, I have to do this or I should do this, those are really big red flags. If you also feel like you have to make a really fast decision, remember that there really are no emergencies. There really are no like that big of an emergency that you need to make a rash decision unless for some reason you're like in the ER and the doctor's like, I need to know right now. What do you want to do? Okay, like that situation, yeah, you can make a quick decision. But for most things in life, take the breather, sleep on it, consult your intuition, journal on it, ask yourself what your higher self would do. Don't blindly make decisions. And especially if you are a business owner, holy moly, just pay attention to when you want to make fear and scarcity-based decisions and get in the habit of stopping yourself. This is why having a mentor is so hugely supportive, or a mentor or a coach, someone who can catch you when you are about to make an unaligned move or decision and to remind you who you actually are, to remind you of your goals and your dreams and to help keep you on track so that you get there that much faster without a bunch of stopping and starting and, doing circles because you're letting your fear rule the show. So the fourth step or the fourth tip for being a powerful leader, no matter what is happening in the world, this one is probably my favorite, which is to trust your intuition. And I have said this many times already in this episode, but your intuition is your guiding light. It is your higher self communicating and lovingly guiding you in the direction that you are meant to go. And there are so many different modalities and tools for learning how to listen to your intuition. I love human design for this because human design is going to tell you what your authority is, and your authority really helps you to understand how you intuitively make decisions. So for me, I'm a manifesting generator and a sacral authority. And with a sacral authority, I can make really powerful decisions quickly, but they happen in my gut, in my sacral. And I know very clearly if something is a yes or a no. And if I'm not getting a clear answer, it's because I typically was trying to decide with my head, with logic, versus my body wisdom and what my intuition knows. If this is something that you struggle with, a really simple thing you can do is to just take some quiet time when you need to make a decision and sit with yourself. Don't try to rationalize, logicalize, I made that word up, or do it, like a pro-con list. All these things try to really make a mental decision. And in reality, you actually do know what the right decision is for you, but you won't if you're looking outward and you're consulting outside sources, and you're researching all over the internet, and you're asking all your friends, and right? Like, it takes you out of your own authority. And as leaders, we are meant to listen to our inner authority and trust that guidance that we are receiving. And so this takes slowing down. It takes being willing to go within and hear what are the messages coming forth. For me, my intuition isn't, it doesn't yell. It doesn't, it's not frantic. It's a quiet whisper. It's calm, it's grounded, and it is a knowing. So get to know yours. Give yourself the time to learn it. And this could really be a next level of evolution for you. Okay, so the 5th step for leading yourself is a big one. This is one that I have really noticed over the last probably 3 to 5 years of me doing all of this inner work, all of the mindset work, evolving the way that my brain thinks, creating new neural pathways, and building this awareness of how I have very little tolerance for conversations and fixed mindsets that are steeped in negativity. And I can really spot it fast. And there's one thing, like there's a difference between like you're in your fear and you need to express it and let it out versus someone who they're constantly in a negative frame of mind and their view of the world is that everything is bad, everything is just going to shit, and you should be afraid and scared too. You should be running with them. And so this 5th tip really has to do with asking yourself, who are you surrounding yourself with? And noticing other people's mindsets and asking yourself, does the way they see the world align with me? Is this the way that I also want to see the world? And what I have noticed is that when I am around people who their view of the world doesn't align with me, I get like a stomach pain. I feel my sacral contracting, and I feel incredibly uncomfortable. Sometimes I feel it in my throat. My throat gets tight, and I'm like, oh. And I know for me that that's the time for me to politely excuse myself from the conversation and go somewhere else. And you can do this too. You can start to build yourself, a group of friends, a community of people who you align with their mindset. You feel uplifted, you feel motivated when you are around them, and you can stay in a place of possibility versus fear when you are in conversation with them. I think that this is incredibly important with everything that's happened over the last couple of years. Unfortunately, a lot of people have gotten stuck in their fear. They cannot see past it. And it's really unfortunate because, of course, like they've been in survival mode since the pandemic started. And our brains can really get locked in a way of seeing the world. And if you're unaware of it, it will just perpetuate and it will continue to create a view of the world that feels really unsupportive and can feel really scary. And so for you, you're listening to this podcast. I know that you are very growth-minded. And so who are the type of people you want to surround yourself with? What are the viewpoints, the opinions, the educational pieces, the information you want to consume? And what will support you in showing up as your highest self as a leader? For me personally, I am very careful about the information I consume online. So I really don't read or watch the news. I do keep up on it in my own ways, but I filter it very carefully. I am also cautious about what I consume on social media, the conversations that I will engage in. Sometimes if I notice that a conversation is going very negative, you always have 2 choices. You can either excuse yourself from the conversation, or you can do your part to shift the energy of the conversation and maybe present a different viewpoint that person hasn't considered yet. This is leadership. And it may not always feel comfortable, right? If you're with a group of people and they're all saying that the sky is falling and you're like, actually, no, it's wow, it's like the sky's blue. It's a beautiful day. And they're like, are you seeing what we're seeing? Sometimes as leaders, we have to have the courage to walk ahead, to walk alone, and to be the ones charting the path. And you may be the one saying, yes, the sky is blue, and everyone else around you is saying, no, the sky is falling. That is okay, because people need to know that there's still possibility in the world, and you are the one who can help lead and guide them. But it really starts with what you are doing in your own personal life, in your own inner world, and then how you share that outwardly. That is being in integrity, right? You lead yourself first before you lead others. So those were the five steps really to help you lead powerfully no matter what is happening in the world. And I know that you are so capable of doing this. I see it in you. I'm so damn grateful that you were here with me for this episode. I would love your feedback. Let me know what you think of the new direction for the podcast. You can either leave me a review for the Fully In It podcast on Apple Podcasts, or if your player has a rating system, totally do that. Reviews are so helpful because it then lets other people know, hey, this is a podcast that's worth listening to. You can share on social media. Take a picture of yourself listening or a screenshot of your player and tag me at I am Kate Saffel and just let me know what you think. You can also always send me a DM on Instagram at I am Kate Saffel and just let me know what you are thinking. Are you enjoying it? I love hearing from you, and I'm so excited to see you for next week's episode 94. It's going to be a juicy one. I will see you then. If you loved this episode, you're going to love coming into my mentoring membership, Expand. This is a year-long community for entrepreneurs and leaders where you're going to have my support in creating your version of a life and business that lights you up. From mindset to practical strategy, you'll have everything at your fingertips to make boldly leaping up to your next level inevitable. I have a special opportunity for you. Share about my new podcast, Fully In It, on your social media and tag me at I am Kate Saffel, and I'll give you a special link for Expand that lets you join for 40% off of full price. Crazy, right? So take a screenshot of your podcast player or even a selfie of you listening, mention the podcast on your social media, and tag me at I am Kate Saffel. That's SAFFLE, and I'll send you the link right away. It is that easy. Thanks again for being here.